House Divided. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the video. Like always, make sure y'all subscribe. We love to talk about college football here. I've got everyone's favorite here, Garrison from Voice of College Football, as well as Scarlet and Blue Show. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
No, I mean, first off, man, thank you for having me on. I'm actually really happy to be here with you because we've been following each other for a long time on X, Twitter, whatever. And I'm happy to be on your platform. Yeah, man. He's like you said, you can find me on Scarlet and Blue Show with my co-host Bryce. We're down to Wednesdays now, so once a week, and then also on Voice of College Football, Ohio State Prime Time with my co-host Ryan Stanos, and that's on Mondays. And our call-in show is on Thursdays. So for all you Buckeye fans, make sure to call in, and we'll happily have you there.
Absolutely. So let's start there. Let's start with the Voice of College Football. I watched one of your previews. Look, y'all had a couple of different previews, and the first one at least sounded like you guys were completely dejected and wasn't ready for this Oregon smoke at all. Look, you told me what your official prediction was, and it concluded with an Ohio State win. So I'm proud of that. But what is it that you're seeing that you're so afraid of?
It's not about what I'm seeing. It's more so all right. And for context, everybody, I heard it from Cleveland Mike yesterday on Maze Madman. I had Oregon winning up until yesterday.
Crazy.
I know. But my big, and even after the Tennessee game, I was more confident but I was just like, man, like, even though I saw what our O-line did against Tennessee, I said, I got to see it again. I just got to see it again. But then, man, like the, kind of like the Holy Ghost, the Buckeye Ghost came over me. I just started, just thinking about it. And at the end of the day, I just said, there's no way Denzel Burke can play that bad again.
That's what it comes down to for me. It was what, 180, a couple touchdowns that he gave up on his own.
He gave up 8 for 8, 179. The rest of the defense gave up 162.
It can't happen again. No, that's what I'm thinking at least.
No, exactly. And because I told people, like, even with like for players or teams' performances, I try not to take the best performance and the worst performance. What are you on a day-to-day basis or a game-to-game basis? And game-to-game, Denzel Burke is still one of the best corners in college football. I mean, the whole defense hasn't given up a passing touchdown since the Oregon game. But I just can't believe that he can play that bad again. There's just, in my mind, there's no way. I can't believe our D-line plays that bad again. There's just...
The D-line is definitely going to get more pressure on him. We've seen in more recent games that they've been able to get pressure on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And we've seen that offensive line look like Swiss cheese out there at times. So I'm not necessarily afraid of that situation. And then, yeah, Denzel Burke's got to lock up. He's got to lock in for sure. Bro. He's got to play a much better game. And I think with the pressure on Dillon Gabriel, it's going to limit his chances to get the ball out to Tez Johnson on those big plays.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. And then I think the one of the biggest things is that Jermaine Matthews has been playing a lot over the last month. And I believe him to be the best. He's not as good as a tackler as Iggy and Burke. Those are two of the best tackling corners in college football. Like they'll wrap up real easily. But in terms of covering, I think he's better than both of them. I think Jermaine is that guy. I think he really is. And so having him in the game, coming in for whoever he comes in for, would be really nice. And then Jordan Hancock has been a name that a lot of people haven't been talking about. But he's played very well, whether that be in the past. He's gonna have Tez Johnson all game most likely, and but him, if it's not that in coverage in the slot or him coming off a blitz or just run defense, he's really good, man. I just think that though both our offenses are elite, our defense can reach a level that theirs can't.
Oh, for sure. We're definitely one of the best defenses in the nation.
We're the best.
When we put everything together, we're definitely the best for sure. Absolutely. And so, on that side of the ball, I'm fairly comfortable. I love to see Cody Simon and his experience show up in big games. I don't think there's been a bad game that I've seen from him yet all season.
He's been great.
And then Sonny Styles has kind of tightened up a little bit on coverage, which has been his biggest weakness. And then I'm ready to see some Marvell Reese too. Arvell Reese has been doing pretty good this season, and when he can get in on rotation, I'm
Mhm.
loving what I'm seeing.
No, for sure.
So
I
the
think
linebacker core is good.
I think Arvell behind Simon is the best overall linebacker right now.
Yeah.
I was surprised, like you brought up a good point with Sonny Styles. I was surprised with how long it's been taking him to get used to covering at the linebacker spot, because I thought that, like, coming into the season, I thought him coming from safety was huge, knowing that we had to play guys like Tyler Warren, or we didn't play Loveland, but Loveland was on the schedule and guys like that. I'm like, oh no, he's a 6'4", 6'5", 225, 30 pounds, and he has safety skills. Oh, that's the guy.
Yeah.
But and even more so, I mean, in a game like this, where Oregon has Sadiq and Tyler Ferguson, two really good tight ends, he has to play well. And it's the same thing for Caleb Downs too. But yeah, I like our linebacker core. I actually, this probably been one of the better linebacking cores we've had for some time. Because even 2 years ago when shoot, what was his name? He was all American.
Eisenberg.
Yeah, Eisenberg. Yeah, he was good, but I mean, still Chambers was just.
Oh, still Chambers too. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. It was a tough linebacker core there.
Yeah.
And so then it boils down to, like I said, the line play, getting pressure on Dylan Gabriel, stopping the run. I think they had 115 yards. Jordan James had 115 yards on his own last game. I mean, like I said, the defensive line has looked pretty damn good as of lately. And I think as long as Knowles dials up some good pressure along with the starting four, I think we'll be good. I don't think there's any issue. Some good rotations with Edric Houston and Caden McDonald and some of those other guys.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see what that looks like against this offensive line, because again, this offensive line hasn't looked all that great all year.
No, for sure. And then, I mean, if you look at, especially in the inside, from guard to center, Oregon is not that, like, they're not as good as they are at their tackle position.
Right.
And there's a play, one of my favorite plays on the season, and it's hard to see it because it's a scuffle, but on the 3rd and goal against Penn State, when Caden McDonald pushed back their guard, he just blew it up. And I said, oh, and when he was a recruit, I said, I looked at him, I said, big kid from Georgia. I said, yeah, that he might be a future star for us. And then, I mean, since mid-season, Edric Houston getting on the field was something I did not expect. I did not expect that. And boy, he is, he's
solid reps.
Yeah, he's getting big time reps. I mean, one game, Northwestern, he started over Caden McDonald, actually, because Ty Leakwood didn't play. But I'm very confident in those guys. One of the two guys I think they had to play very, very well in this game are when they get the chance to, is Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson.
Yep.
Because in that first game, man, we had them at 2nd and long and 3rd and long plenty of times, and I mean a lot in that game, and we just couldn't get there. And I think we had no sacks, 1 tackle for loss.
Yeah.
You just can't win like that. And I just can't expect Jim. And truth be told, we have been playing more of Jim Knowles defense here later in the season, which I think has helped out a lot. I just can't see us giving up those type of pass plays again. I can't see Jordan. It's impossible for me to see Jordan James doing it again. Now, can they? Maybe so. Maybe so. I just don't think they're going to let that happen again.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the key to that is also how, you mentioned their tackles are being really good. I remember in the offseason, we were hopefully looking at a Johnny Cornelius, one of their tackles. He's good. He's solid. And I think the other guy is Connerly, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Josh Connerly Jr. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they're solid at tackle, and so it's gonna be incumbent on the ends to get some good pressure from there, and the backup guys got to come out and keep in line with the play that we've seen from at least Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer has been a dog.
Man, hey, we waited 4 years for it, man.
Jack Sawyer's been a dog. He was a dog in the Michigan game. I mean, I know we got to kind of negate all of that because we lost, but
yeah, he played his best games. Damn good. Games. There's nothing I can say about the defense in that game. You can't point to them. So
showed up and showed out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the defense. Line, DBs, linebackers. Yeah, we cover pretty much everything.
We need Caleb Downs and Lathan Ransom to
Oh, of course, of
We,
course.
they going. I trust them, but
I definitely trust Caleb Downs the way he's been performing,
mm.
and Lathan Ransom has shown up all season.
Bro,
So
did you know Lathan Ransom has the highest score on PFF at safety?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and Caleb Downs is third or fourth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and this has probably been the first year he's been healthy all season. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Lathan. Yeah.
Yep. So that's the defense. I mean, like I said, I don't really have too much of a problem there. They've been playing lights out, at least for the second half of the season. Okay, let's start with the biggest wonder on the offensive side, which is clearly the offensive line. It's been the offensive line all season, and especially with Simmons going out in the first Oregon game, and then we've lost Seth McLaughlin since then.
That hurt.
Of course. But I think in the first game,
why couldn't it be Degra? I'm joking.
Wow.
I'm joking.
No, I think
I didn't mean that.
That's crazy. I think we were scrambling a little bit in the first game once we lost Simmons, and so then we had to kind of find something, and then losing Seth McLaughlin after that, a little bit different. But I like the way that Luke Montgomery played in the Tennessee game. I really like what I saw from him.
Hey man,
he looked like a dog.
Like when Luke first got to Ohio State, I kept on the Scarlet and Blue Shirt. I told Bryce, like, hey, like that kid right there. I said, listen, that's a top 10 recruited offensive lineman out of the state of Ohio coming to Ohio State. I'm like, I'm sure he has the passion, but I was like, man, he's gonna be really good. I think he's gonna be really good. I've been crying for him to play all season. I definitely was last year, but you see, like his first start, and yeah, he was coming in and out with Austin, but he comes in, man, gets 2 pancakes. And I saw Zach Smith post this on Minnesota Sports. One of his game sessions he posted, and he's like focused on the offensive line, but mostly Luke Montgomery. This is how, like, after that 1-yard touchdown they got against Tennessee, he goes into the end zone just celebrating, man, and just the whole O line is, and it's like it's almost like they're in a new season now, and like they understand, and they had some weeks together. It's not like they coming off the Michigan loss, so you go right to the Tennessee game. They had some time together, times to fix things, and you brought up when Josh Simmons got hurt, it looked like we were scrambling, and it was, because it was clear that we were going to run to the side that has Josh Simmons and Donovan Jackson.
Yeah,
like it was very clear, and it worked every single time. And then, of course, in the second half, it didn't. But great point with that.
I think there's something in facing adversity, and this offensive line has faced adversity multiple times. I think there's something that builds camaraderie in that. And every time I see the offensive line, whether it was before Seth McLaughlin got hurt and then afterwards, I just feel like I've seen them come together in this trying time. So with that, I feel like they're building something strong with this offensive line, at least strong enough to withhold the defensive line that they're going to see from Oregon, which is probably just as tough as what we've got over in Ohio State.
And we gotta give Justin Fry his flowers, man.
That's a fact. Like he was fighting for his job too.
Yeah, like Chip Kelly is scheming around it, but I mean, you gotta put the guys in position, know where they need to be. And as much as I dislike him, man, he did a damn good job this year with most offensive line coaches that it's one thing to lose your best offensive lineman. It's another thing when it's your left tackle and center.
Yeah.
And he's worked around it, and he's done very well with it.
Absolutely. And I think if he can get his head wrapped around recruiting guys and even pulling better guys from the transfer portal, which he's done a pretty good job on so far. I'm not taking anything away from that. The kid from Rice looks crazy. But
that's melon salt videos.
But yeah, I mean, I think if he can get his head wrapped around that, he'd be a solid sell to keep his job. Sure. So that's what
I think he saved his job already. I think he saved his job.
I do too. But going against Mateo, Jordan Burch, some of these guys is going to be a tough task.
Derek Harmon.
Yep. They've got. Some people will probably say it's a better defensive line than Ohio State, but it's at least right there.
I had this conversation in Oregon space yesterday, and we found common ground. I told them, you guys pass rush at defensive end is definitely better. I think between him and Burster, Mateo and Burster is 19 sacks. But when it comes to stopping the run, look, Jack Sawyer and JT, man, listen, it's hard to run on us. It really is.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we just look a little different is all.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got different specialties as it comes to the ends. But I mean, again, facing a tough defensive line is going to be tough for this offensive line. So we'll see how it works out. But then that's also going to be a big thing for how Chip calls this game.
Yeah.
How we're going to look when it comes to quick passes, creative play calling. I've seen a lot of that in the Tennessee game. Getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers. It looked like he understood that very well in Tennessee. So you should understand that very well against Oregon as well.
Yeah, I thought that in that game, Ryan Day might have had a little bit more say in what was being called and how it was called. I go back to that. I hate talking about this game. I go back to that Michigan game, and people kept saying, "Oh, isn't it on Ryan Day with the play call?" And I said, "No, Ryan Day's fault in this game was not telling Chip Kelly to stop running the ball at the middle and running tight sets and passing out of that." But I told him, I said, "Tell me when anywhere in Ryan Day's career, tell me when you know that on a 3rd and 8 he runs a halfback draw, and then tell me, does it sound like Ryan Day to run a halfback?" What I think before the last drive of the game, we had triangle win the game, or triangle winner or tie, whatever. The first play was a halfback draw again on a game-winning. Like, what are we doing? So, and then this Tennessee game, man, it's spread out. The ball's going 15 yards plus. Man, I mean, geez, man, G. Scott's out there,
right?
And so, I mean, yeah, Cardinal Tate had one catch, I think, in that game, but it was way out. It was a really good play, and it was really nice to see us get the ball out there, get Travion in space. Just like Lathan, having him healthy all season has done wonders for us, to where I think now here later in the season, in the playoffs, I think one of the reasons why Judkins got so many carries is because we know we're going to need Trey in games like this.
Yeah,
we need him. We need him.
For sure. Having Trey be healthy throughout the entire season has been a godsend. So it's definitely helped quite a bit. Okay. And then their DBs have gotten a word from Jeremiah Smith. You better not just run man.
You bet
or
not.
Jeremiah Smith is going to make you pay.
Yes.
Which is facts.
Yeah.
Their DBs are not big enough.
Dude, it's crazy because every single one of their 5 DBs that start, the tallest of them is 5'10", the rest are 5'9".
Yeah.
And I mean, people forget, like Jeremiah is 6'3", 225, insane. Fastest guy on the team. But then you have, Emeka's 6'2", Carnell's 6'3". Like, these aren't little guys.
Not at all.
And so,
and fast to boot.
Yes. And so I really believe that in this game, our wide receiver unit, especially Julio Jones Jr., I think that they need to get the ball. And I'm very comfortable with knowing that under the Ryan Day regime, we are a team that passes the ball to then get the run going. And I trust Will Howard, man. I saw this really cool stat where Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka are the only wide receiver duo in the top 20 wide receivers that are in like percentage of catches over the boundary 15 yards and out and more. And then Will Howard from on the boundary left or right 15 yards or more is 78% in completion percentage. Like, you got to take advantage. Take advantage. It works.
Take advantage of that.
It works.
Yeah.
And those guys are just too small. I always think back to that play where Jeremiah just ran past Jabbar Muhammad. Just ran past him. And a lot of Oregon fans didn't like it, but I said, look, like a Chihuahua chasing a Great Dane. But that's what it looks like, bro.
Yeah. No, you throw it up high and you let Jeremiah Smith go for it.
I don't even care if it's in double coverage. But if it's single coverage, it shouldn't just audible out whatever. It could be one of the greatest players on our team. You audible out of it. You throw it up. You throw it up.
Facts. Yeah, and that also speaks to what I think about Will Howard. I think if you get him in a rhythm, he's going to do well. Now, he may make a bonehead play or two at some point in the game, but he's shown that even if that does happen, it will not cost us the game. No. Ultimately, even when he throws a pick six in the first drive, we'll still end up winning somehow.
Or fumbles into the end, or fumbles on a touchdown run.
Right. So even if it's a bonehead player too, it's not enough to completely take us out of the game.
And you know, it's crazy. Like in that first Oregon game, yeah, he had that last play, the slide, whatever. But I mean, it's like people forget we couldn't run the ball in the second half.
Yeah,
Oregon knew we were one dimensional. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. So if we can run the ball in this game, man, with Will Howard being efficient, I keep saying, man, there's no way they can meet our A game. I just don't believe they can meet our A game. Now we got to bring the A game first off,
for sure.
But
and Denzel Burke's got to bring that A game.
Yeah, out of everybody, you know, it's funny, man. Because I'm guessing you're just like me. Like I don't like pinning games on one player.
No, I don't.
But I'm comfortable with saying we lost that game because of Denzel. I'm very comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it just came down to those big plays. I mean, as much as people want to say that, oh, they gave up this many points or whatever, like one player gave up multiple touchdowns.
Yes.
On big plays. Yeah, he's got to play a lot better. But and if not, rotations have to happen.
And then, we lost that game by 1 point with 2 turnovers. Mind you, that strip fumble that Derek Harmon got on Judkins, that's the only fumble the running backs have had all season.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of things that happened in that game, and it's not like I don't think Oregon could have played better, but I think there's a lot of things that Ohio State did in that game that were just luck, and turnovers are luck plays. They are very much luck plays most times, and then and I'll say it again, Denzel just won't play that bad again.
I don't think he will. That was literally the worst game he's ever played.
I wish that, like, in a moment like that, in a game like that, Iggy should have walked up to him and said, "Bro, do what I do. Grab them and hold them."
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a lot better. You get a pass interference call. That's much better than giving up the score.
Better than seeing you get dragged for 10, 15 yards up a pass.
Yeah,
that was so ugly to watch.
It was really bad. But
what was the score? What score do you have for this game?
What score do I have for the game?
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrible at score predictions. I'm going to say I don't know if Oregon gets over 30, and I think that's where we get it. And I think it's going to be a close game, so I'll go 31-28.
Okay, I'm right by you. I said at first I had 31-20. Now I'm at 33-31. I think they get. It was funny. Someone said using this because Jaden Fielding gets a last-second field goal. I said, hell no.
Yeah.
If we have a 40-yard field goal to win the game, I won't even watch the play. I'll just wait to hear the announcers.
Yeah, no, Jaden Fielding is.
I'll turn my back on him, man. I can't watch it.
I think if the field goal comes from anywhere, it's like first, second quarter chip shot. That's where the field goal comes from.
Bro, listen, bro. If it's a 40-yard field goal,
yeah,
throw it to Jeremiah in triple coverage. I'll be happy with that.
There's not much you could do with Jaden Fielding on the ground.
That's crazy. It was funny. He actually has a 70. I think his PFF score is 76 or something like that.
I don't know what's happened this year. Between kicking the ball out of bounds 3 times in the Marshall game and then just missing field goals left and right. I don't know. To the point where we have to find a kicker in the transfer portal. Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah. We're long removed from the Mike Nugent days. We're long removed from that.
Yes. Way removed. But either way, I got the Buckeyes winning. I'm pretty confident about it.
Yeah, it only took me 3 weeks, but I'm here. I'm there too.
That's crazy. It's crazy that it took you that long.
Why? I have to be honest, and it's my own assessment. But when it came down to it, I can't imagine being beat by the same team twice in one season. And I had a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about Ryan Day and bowl games. And I mean, the Missouri game doesn't really count to me, but Ryan Day and bowl games and playoff games, and even though he's lost most of them, when Ryan Day goes for broke, it looks different, man. Specifically on offense, like when he goes for broke, I don't know where these plays were all season.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I'm really confident. I just think that like, when Ryan Day, when his back is against the wall, it's hard to beat him. It's really hard to beat him, and not because of the talent on his team, but because of just the offensive mind he has.
Mm-hmm.
He gets guys open, and
I hear it.
Yeah,
and we've got all the weapons in the world to make that happen.
Were you watching the game at home?
Probably at home. I've been sick a little bit these last couple of days, so we'll see.
My friends are asking me to go watch it with them. I said, "You guys don't want to be around me with watching a game like that. I'm not fun. I sit there. I don't talk."
Yeah, I had to watch the Georgia game, the Georgia playoff game, at a New Year's party because it was New Year's Eve going into. Oh, I was terrible. I was awful. I'm sitting there watching it on a phone, like
that's the worst.
It was awful.
I'll tell you a funny story. So at the time of that game, I was dating somebody, and like they want to go out because like our friends had like a table somewhere at a bar, and then they're all going to some friend's house after, and she really wanted to go to the bar, and I'm sitting there watching the game. I'm saying, no, I'm watching this game, and then what happened. I go into my bedroom, bro. Lights off, bro. Lights off. Just sitting in the dark. And she goes, "Are you ready yet?" I asked, "What kind of effing question is that?" Like, do I look ready? Do I look like I'm in a mental state to go around people right now?
No.
Like, no.
If I wasn't already around people, that'd have been a shit show.
Bro, oh.
Like when the kick went wide right, I literally yelled "fuck" at this party that I'm at. I yelled it. I was like, "Fuck!"
No, bro,
everybody looked at me for a second. I'm like,
like someone died, like
right.
My heart, my soul. No, man, I couldn't. Yeah, I have a lot of confidence in my team right now. I do. If Oregon beats us, then I'm just gonna say tip my cap and say they've been better than us this season. Sure. It is just what it is. But I do have a lot of belief in my team. I think that the Michigan game aside, I think what we've seen from this team, they are what they are, and they're a damn good team. I think that's the second. Yeah. They've been the second best team in the nation, and when they play their best, no one can beat them. I don't think anyone can. So,
and the solace you can take off of that. I mean, I know it's not a consolation prize in any form, but they're probably going to win the national championship if they beat us, and we will likely, obviously, win the national championship. We beat them. Whoever wins the national championship is coming from this game. So,
I believe that too.
Yeah.
I think only Texas could beat us, and that's a if. That's a big if to me.
That is. I agree. Mm-hmm. So we'll definitely see. But no, I got it. Buckeyes on up.
You already know.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay.
So all you Oregon fans that like there's this guy named Dylan on a show called the Cater Cast. You ever watched it before?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not a bad show, but they have Dylan on there. He's I call him a habitual Buckeye hater.
Okay.
He has Oregon 42-7.
Oregon 42-7 is ridiculous.
That's 42-17, which doesn't matter. 42-17. And I commented on the show and I said, I find it funny that you guys brought up the Michigan game for us, but why don't you bring up the Penn State game for Oregon when they gave up 300 rushing yards and couldn't stop a runny nose? And
yeah,
bro, listen to this. This was they said, well, that game was a month ago. And I did the math. I said I could have sworn we played Michigan before that game happened. But I just think it's funny. There's a bunch of Oregon fans, and if Ohio State fans think someone's going to go 42-17, I think they're crazy too. But there's just no. I think
it'll be a close game for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people like here. I'll read this to you real quick. It's probably my favorite stat.
Right.
Just against that thought process from some crazy idiots. Ohio State averages 36 points a game. Oregon averages 35.9. Ohio State gives up 11.4, and then they give up 17.8. So a touchdown more. Bro, no one's blowing anybody out in this game.
No.
But if it were to happen, I promise you it would be us blowing them out. I promise you that.
I agree.
I promise you that.
I agree with that. All right, man. Let them know where they can find you one more time.
For sure. You can find me at the Scarlet and Blue Show with my co-host Bryce. And then you can also, and that's on all the social medias. And then you can find me on Ohio State Primetime on the Voice of College Football, Ohio State, on Mondays and Wednesdays with my co-host Ryan Stanos, and Thursdays a call-in show. So please do call in. Actually, yeah, Josh, you got to call in, man. What's wrong with you?
Look, man, I'll be editing videos. I'll be doing recordings and shit like that. I'll be doing stuff, man.
You be working, man. You be busy. You be busy.
I'll be trying. But absolutely, make sure y'all subscribe to A House Divided for more college football takes from Michigan and Ohio State. And on that note, we are out. Peace.